Hey nerds, I'm talking about the new Snoop Dogg movie, The Underdoggs. Is it worth your time? We'll get into it, starting now. Welcome to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. So, we are going from the sublime to the ridiculous. The last review I did was on Origin. Ava DuVernay's an excellent movie, which you should go and see. Again, the link is up there to that review. And now we get to the ridiculous, which is this movie, The Underdoggs. Now, I'm not saying ridiculous in necessarily pejorative fashion. Comedy is necessary for life. So the spoiler-free logline for this movie is The Underdoggs is a heartwarming sports comedy about Jaycen Jennings, a washed-up former pro football star who takes on the challenge of coaching an unruly pee-wee football team in his hometown. Faced with a choice between prison and community service, Jaycen sees this as a chance to rebuild his tarnished image. However, he soon finds himself rediscovering his love for the game and learning valuable life lessons from the young players, ultimately finding redemption in a new purpose. So, for a movie like this, you have to moderate your expectations. This movie is like, as you might expect, Bad News Bears or Mighty Duck, which actually gets a name check in the middle of this movie, which is not a problem in and of itself. There are a lot of movies that are of a type, and after you get enough of those of a type movies, they become a genre in and of itself. I don't know if this is necessarily a genre yet, but there, of course, have been other movies like this. Of course, sports movies in general definitely are a genre. So this, as I said, stars Snoop Dogg in the leading role as Jaycen Jennings, acting as well as he can in this role. He actually does an okay job. I'm sure you've seen him if you've seen him in things, you've seen him doing cameos over the years and in smaller parts, but of course he's not a professional actor. And Tika Sumpter, which you might know from most recently the Sonic movies, but she's in lots of different things. George Lopez, who's basically just phoning in a performance here. He's not in the movie much. He plays Jaycen's high school football coach, which is funny because George Lopez is only about 10 years older than Snoop Dogg. He doesn't look it in this movie, though. I guess the bitterness ages you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you could do a Google search for what he thinks his responsibility is to younger comics coming up underneath of him. Anyway, Andrew Schwartz plays Chip Collins, who is the rival to Snoop Dogg's Jaycen Jennings on the football field, and also he anchors a Sports Center sort of show that digs into Jaycen throughout the movie. And Mike Epps is the final player or main player in this movie. He's funny most of the time. Sometimes he's annoying. But yeah, he definitely rounds out the cast of more professional actors or comedians. Kyle Penn is also in this for a little bit, but he's like a blanket and you miss it addition to the cast. He has a few scenes. And there's a bunch of cameos, which I won't spoil if you're going to see the movie, especially if you are into football specifically. There are lots of cameos in this movie. So like I said, this movie tries to do a Bad News Bear, Mighty Ducks, Little Giants sort of thing, which might seem that it's derivative, but it's actually a pretty decent movie. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I will say that it strains credulity that when you see Snoop Dogg walking around that he was a football player in the past. They have scenes with him as a younger person, and there's no way that the younger actor grew into this beanpole guy. But if you put that aside, all the laughs aren't in the trailer like a lot of comedies these days, and there are some genuine laughs. If you're coming to this movie expecting exceptional child actors, won't find it here. Tika Sumpter plays a good part as one of the kids' moms and also the former love interest of Jaycen as well, but she doesn't have much to do here either. But as the logline says, there is a bit of a redemption arc as you expect in these sort of movies, and they do have some evolution of the form. There are probably some jokes that you can get away with today that you could get away with back in the 90s when Mighty Ducks and Little Giants and movies like that were made, and they make the adjustments that they need to make while also making this a rated R movie, which those movies were not. So it's more profane than those PG-13 movies were, but it's also more socially aware. So it's not overtly sexist, overtly homophobic like a lot of PG-13 movies were back then. So yeah, all in all, I watched this this earlier in the week with my wife when I got screeners. Haven't had a chance to record a review because I was a bit busy with Sundance movies this week. So this will probably go out on the 26th when the movie comes out. We were pleasantly surprised that it was better than we expected, which I guess is damning with faint praise. But honestly, given the premise of the movie, it's difficult to come in with high expectations. But I think it's a fun diversion. I think I'm going to rate this a date night or a 6 out of 10. It's a film that won't ruin a special evening with a significant other, but you probably won't revisit, and which is what it was for me and my wife early in the week when we watched it. So that's what I think about The Underdoggs. Interested to hear what you guys think. If you watch it, please comment down below, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys. Bye.